That's the primary difference between shareholder and stakeholder. Shareholders have an actual ownership amount within the entity in question, be it a company, an organization, or a place, whatever it may be. Okay? Stakeholders includes shareholders and owners as well, but they also include others who have no amount of ownership. And the reason they did this is because they wanted to do the whole socialism nonsense once more. It's because they want to say, okay, yeah, workers don't have any ownership in the company, but they do have a stake in it, in its running and in whatever. Okay, so they said you should not just think of shareholders, you should think about stakeholders instead. Okay? And there is a particular place for that when it comes to creating body paragraphs. Okay? Let me just show you one tiny example of this. Okay. You see that thing right there in the bottom? Yeah. That prompt there. Should larger passengers have to pay for 2 plane or movie theater tickets? See that prompt there? What did you guys think about who are going to be the stakeholders for such a thing? This particular topic, who do you think will be the people with some kind of investment in this topic? Silence?
Stakeholders? The people that will be impacted?
Everything.
So
all the people who will be connected to this particular issue in any way.
the larger passengers, those around them, the companies,
By
and
companies, but be specific.
planes, movie theaters, and news.
No. Okay, so here's how it goes. Larger passengers, normal passengers, airline companies, plane manufacturers, because those two are completely different. Airline companies are just the operators who use the planes. They are not the ones who manufacture the planes. Those are Boeing and Airbus. It's their products that are used by the airlines. Similarly, in the case of movie theaters, you have distributors, theater owners. Would flight attendants be a stakeholder here? Think of it.
Don't they have to explain to the customers, like passengers?
They have to.
If someone like didn't understand the new rule?
Well, I think the only way they can even implement this rule is if they buy the ticket.
True.
Right? And unless they even get the ticket, they can't even enter the plane, right? It's only after you enter the plane that the flight steward even gets a chance to interact with them. So if they, are obese and they need an extra seat, by the rules of the airplane, they would have already bought it before they could even enter the plane, correct?
Right.
Same thing, I mean, in a movie theater, it doesn't really apply. But now comes the question. So you know what the stakeholder concept is, yes, now? All of you? Yeah? So those are the stakeholders for this topic. Now, please write down that topic and the stakeholders. So now you'll have to create a table like this, okay? And I'll do one as an example to show you. Stakeholder. Okay, so it is stakeholder, then what's the word they've used here? Support or objective reasons. Okay. So it's about position and the reason for it. So larger passengers, What do you think their position on the topic will be?
I think no, because it was
Absolutely negative. Reason why? They will consider it unfair and discriminatory, and they would lose more money. Yes. Now, smaller passengers. What do you think they would be? Neutral, positive, or support? Support? Yeah, let's go with support. Why? There is one really tiny component of this that you guys don't consider. Do you realize that it would actually make the smaller passengers feel good about themselves?
You would think that they're superior to the other passengers, the larger
Yep.
passengers,
Yep.
because they wouldn't need to, like, it'd be more fair for the smaller passengers. They would
Not fair. It would never be fair. No, they literally would feel happy about them not being obese. Yeah. Okay. But the benefits of that. Okay, now the next one is going to be tricky. Airline companies. What about these guys? You think they will support it or go against it? Who's going to sit here and tell me that discrimination is a bad thing? Raise your hands. Quick. Quick. Go. One. I didn't ask anything about that. I didn't ask you in which place is discrimination good and bad. I asked you, is discrimination a bad thing? That's all. Simple. Yes or no question. And you raised your hands. Yes. Yeah. So Brianna says yes too. The correct answer is no. It's a good thing. What is the meaning of discrimination? Do you want to actually check it out? The actual meaning of discrimination.
Differentiating between something.
Absolutely.
To adjust and beautiful treatment different categories of people, especially on the grounds of ethnicity, age, sex, or disability. And then the second definition says recognition and understanding the difference between one thing and another.
Exactly. Discrimination is the opposite of incriminate. Okay. It only means to distinguish between two or more things. That is the actual definition of discrimination. What people have done is they have made discrimination synonymous with racial discrimination. The reason is that, okay, racism and racial discrimination is a very particular kind of discrimination. Do you guys realize that every human being in their life, every day, they do a whole bunch of actions that are actually discriminations where you end up choosing between one option or the other? That's actually a discrimination thing that you're doing. Do you think it's possible to live without it? It's impossible to live without it. Okay. When you inherently choose one choice over another, you're actually saying this one is better and the other one is worse. Inherently, that's what you're doing.
So in a way, it's also against the choices.
Exactly. Exactly. Discrimination is actually choosing, making a decision based on choice. It's as simple as that. But see, the moment I asked you that, that didn't even go through your brains once. You have been conditioned to think that the word discrimination is bad. But is it really? This is the problem with programming, brainwashing, yeah.
I think like in the back of my mind, after you said that's bad, then it started working and I thought, oh yeah, there's a different definition. I forgot about that one.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly how brainwashing works. That immediate conscious thing, you don't think about the deep part of your brain. It doesn't even get involved until someone points it out to you. Yeah. So that's one part of it. So do you think airline companies would actually have a problem with this, or do you think they will do it, which is beneficial to them? Do you think there are more larger passengers or smaller passengers? Sure. So, do you think they will cater to the needs of the smaller or the larger?
Smaller because they're the majority.
Even if that you wanted evidence for that, have you? No, you guys are too young, so you probably won't notice. But you may ask your parents about this. Ask them in the last 10 to 15 years, has the size of the airplane seats gone down and the number of seats increased? A hard yes. It's become ridiculous now. How tiny the seats have become and how cramped up the lack of space is. If you think airlines are doing that, what do you think they will do in this case? If they were allowed to do it, which also then makes you wonder why they don't all do it. What is going to reduce the number of seats available?
If larger people buy 2 seats instead of 1 seat.
You may want to reconsider that. Think it over. Will it actually reduce the number of seats available? If what you said was true, why are there so many flight cancellations that happen? Especially here in Canada. Canada is notorious for this stuff. People end up going to the airport and they say, oh, hi, dude, sorry, your flight has been canceled. Go back. Seriously, it's ridiculous the amount of people who suffer because of this. Yeah.
Not enough people in the country.
Exactly. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I would do it. Yeah.
To share like an example, I think like over the summer break, my parents were going to our family was going to the maritime conferences for like a road trip, and then when we were flying back from Halifax, they said that your flight was canceled. There weren't enough people, so it just got canceled. And then I think we were switched to a different flight because all we had was carry-on. Another flight that was.
Can you imagine what would happen if you were stuck in another country where you couldn't literally go out of the airport? You are stuck there because your flight got canceled. So, do you think it's more likely that they don't have seats available, or is it just that they don't have enough people available? Exactly. So what do you think these airline folks would actually do? What do you think would happen if they don't have enough people available? What do you think that will do to ticket prices?
Prices would go up.
No good. Wouldn't it go down because they want more people on the flight?
That's the thing about the travel business, right? If they are going to have to run the flight anyway, you can't force people to travel unless you really reduce the flight. But if they can charge large people more, either large people will not come, or if they do come, they'll make more money. And if they have to run the flight, they will definitely do this. But here's the thing though, this thing has not occurred yet. Why is that? Airline companies for sure would want this stuff to happen because it gives them more money. It's as simple as that. Ensures that there will be less empty seats, if at all. If at all, there's a chance. Do you know what then these larger people do? In some cases, they are actually, this is a method of coercion. When they know that they have no choice, they're like, oh, hell no. If I have to pay this extra money and I have to travel, why travel by economy? Pick business class. Almost always just twice that of economy anyway. Sometimes it's even less than that, less than twice the price of an economy class ticket. That's the trick that they do. Get that how it works?
So they probably wouldn't have to buy 2 business class flights, right?
No, because the seats are so much bigger in business class. There's so much more space. Yep. And in business class, you can't buy 2 seats anyway, because those seats are not adjacent. Between one seat and the other, there's a huge gap anyway. So there's no question of buying 2 seats. You'll have to adjust. See how that works? So this is just to give you an idea how to do the stakeholder thing. But now why to do that? That's the key thing. So that's what I'm going to show you now. So you have stakeholder positions and reasons. Let's complete it. They would want it / positive, make more money. Okay. So how you use this information in a body paragraph is by talking about how airlines, or rather the correct term would be aeroplanes, already have
The difference between airplanes and aeroplanes, except for this one. Airplanes sound.
no, it's the same thing.
Oh.
Have begun to reduce the size of their seats and have increased the total number of available seats. A bid to garner more passengers. This has increased the pressure on larger passengers who would struggle in these seats, especially those in economy class. Yet these obese passengers would never want to pay extra for additional adjacent seats because this would make them lose more money and could even be potential source of embarrassment. Space. Yep, there you go. That'll be the stuff. And the next paragraph, you can talk about what airline companies would want. That's the advantage of doing this thing, stakeholder brainstorming thing. And now I want you to do the same thing for the next topic. There you go. Number 2. Should students who commit cyberbullying be suspended from school? Go.